What if the deadliest wars are not fought in the valleys of the Rift Valley, or the streets of Nairobi during elections, or the deserts of northern Kenya, but in silence? No soldiers, no machetes, no police trucks, just a mind torn apart, each side fighting to be heard. We've seen the post-election violence of 2007, 2008, neighbors turning on neighbors. We've seen terror tear through Garissa University, Westgate, and Dusit. We've seen police fires on protesters, tribes divided by politics, and children orphaned by clashes. But maybe the most brutal wars are the ones that you can see, the ones that do not trend on Twitter, the ones no newspaper prints, the ones inside our heads. Let me ask you something. Are you fighting a war that no one else can see? Are you fighting a war that no one else knows about? Maybe it's the war of pretending that you're okay when probably your pockets are empty. Maybe it's smiling at family gathering while inside you're drowning. Maybe it's laughing with friends when deep inside you're breaking. Maybe it's that constant struggle between doing the right thing and doing the easy thing. This is not a motivational speech. This is not keep pushing, hustle hard, success is near. No, this is a confession, a truth about what it means to be human, or rather what it means to be me, a Kenyan. This is the war in our heads. Hello and welcome back to the Sense of Self podcast, where conversation goes beyond talks. Here we unravel, we reflect, and at times we sit with the silence of truths too deep for words. I'm your host as always. My name is Kipkas K. When we think of war, we imagine weapons, guns, swords, flames, or here in Kenya, war is a political slogan shouted at rallies. Fire, see fire. Fire, see fire. It's tribal tension boiling at the ballot box. It's young men with pangas burning homes that aren't theirs. Or we think of the Wagala massacre or the Shifter war. Those were visible wars. They had guns, they had fire, and blood was spilled. How about the war inside the mind? That one is silent, deadly, and often lonelier than anything outside. The Stoic Empire, Marcus Aurelius, once wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside event. Realize this and you will find strength. But here's the truth. Most of us do not control our minds. Our minds control us. You felt it. That moment when your heart says, push, keep going, try again. But your head says, check it, bruv, nah. When you crave comfort, a drink, a night out, or an escape, but deep down, you know what you need is discipline. When fear whispers, you're a failure, while another voice insists, it's going itajipa tu, bado itajipa. History reminds us of that even great men and women carried this inner battles. Abraham Lincoln fought depression even as he led America through civil war. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga fought betrayal and disillusionment, torn between his ideals and Kenya's politics. Wangari Maathai faced loneliness, ridicule, and doubt even as she stood for the forest. Sometimes the war outside is easier to fight than the one within, because the war outside definitely is visible. The one inside, you fight it alone and in silence. Think about it. You have definitely stood in front of the mirror and felt two versions of yourself staring back. One version very proud, hopeful, and the other one whispering, checky brav, how easy. If the mind is a battlefield, then our thoughts are the soldiers, and not all thoughts are allies. Every day you fight war like this. Fear versus courage. Desire versus discipline. Ego versus humility. Fear versus courage. Fear tells a boda rider, cheki usitoke leo kuna hatari. But courage is what gets him back on that bike every morning, risking his life to feed his children. Fear told the Garissa University students to hide. Courage made some of them to shield their friends. May their soul continue resting in peace. Desire versus discipline. Desire whispers, spend that money. Enda sherehe, piga sherehe. Hakuna kesho. Kama hiyo thou haizi nunua gari, say it with me. Unafanya nini? Unakunywa hiyo pesa. With discipline says, save that money. It might be the only money that you have tomorrow. Desire says, cheat kidogo, no one will know. Discipline whispers, your integrity is worth more than pleasure. Ego versus humility. Ego tells politicians that you're untouchable. People can't survive without you. Humility says, you too, you'll return to the soil. Ego blinds, humility heals. Think about Dedan Kimathi. Outwardly, he was a Mau Mau, a freedom fighter. But his real war wasn't just with the British. It was with fear, with doubt, with loneliness. Standing in the forest, cold, hungry, he must have asked himself, is it really worthy dying for a dream my people may not live to see? Or Wangari Maathai, her greatest war wasn't the police chasing her, but the doubt in her own mind. Imagine being a woman in the 80s in a male-dominated Kenya, standing up for trees when everyone is laughing. This is not just environmental courage. This is inner war. So why do we lose the war most of the times? Close to 99% of the time. The reason is everywhere. Poverty, unemployment, broken system, corruption, tribalism. We might look strong, but inside, many of us are collapsing. Alive, but hopeless. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the part of us that we bury. Here, maybe it's that anger against your tribe, that bitterness toward the government, that jealousy toward your neighbor. We bury it, we hide it, but buried things don't die. They wait, and when they rise with a vengeance. That's what we saw in the 2007, 2008. The anger that people buried, those hidden resentments, poverty, exclusion, bitterness erupted. The war in people's head became now the war in the streets. Very dark time those. And yet, some survive this war. Some thrive, not because the war ends, but because they keep fighting. Their weapons, awareness. What am I really fighting? Facing the truth, admitting that the war is real. Stillness, taking a moment of silence, whether prayer, meditation, or just breathing. Purpose. We fight hardest when we know why. A mother fights for her children. A student fights for a degree. A farmer fights for harvest. I want you to think about an ordinary Kenya. A mama mboga who wakes up at 4 a.m., the student burning the midnight oil with no electricity, the matatu driver in traffic all day sending money home. Think of this, of a young graduate applying for job endlessly, but still hoping. Their names won't make definitely the history book, but their battles are on TV, their battles aren't on TV, but they are epic. I want you to picture this, a crowded Nairobi matatu stuck on Mombasa Road at dusk. The air is thick, everyone restless, horns blaring. Outwardly, people look calm, scrolling through their phones, staring out the window, but behind every pair of eyes, a war. The office worker is replaying the mistake of the day. The student is wondering if the hustle will ever pay off. The boda rider is calculating if today's earning will stretch till morning. Outwardly, very calm. Inwardly, torn apart. Now, let us shift the scenes from the city lights. There is a farmer who is standing in his shamba at dawn. The soil is cracked and the rains have delayed again. He stares at the earth, asking question no one hears. Will I provide for my family? Did I fail them? His hands are strong, his back is tired, but the real battlefield isn't the weather, it's his own mind. Still, he bends and plants. That simple act, planting despite doubt, is how courage quietly wins. Now, let us bring it home. I want you to zoom closer. Picture yourself alone in your room, long after midnight, phone in hand, but scrolling has stopped. The silence is loud, regret whispers, self doubt shouts, what if fills the air. You smile the next morning and no one notices, but you know you're in a war no one else can see. This is the war in our heads. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't leave scars that people can see, but it's real and as brutal as any fought on a battlefield. And maybe that's the point. The war inside us is a proof that we are alive, a proof that despite the noise, the doubt, the fear, we're still showing up, still choosing, still planting seeds in cracked soil, fighting through Nairobi traffic, surviving the silence of our room. Ask yourself, when tomorrow comes, which part of you will win the war? Maybe the hardest battles are not the ones we fight out there in the world, but the ones we fight when no one is watching, when no one will ever clap for us. But yet, those battles matter the most because they shape who we are when the lights go off, when the crowd goes home, and when it's just you and your own reflection. So if you remember nothing else from today, remember this: surviving your own mind is already a victory. Every day you choose to get up, to try again, to plant your seed in cracked soil, to smile even when it hurts, that is proof that you are stronger than the war inside you. And just maybe the goal was never to win once and for all. The goal was to keep showing up, to keep choosing life, even in the middle of the storm. So tonight, when you lay your head down, ask yourself, did I let hope win today? Or did I surrender to fear? Or if you didn't like your answer, tomorrow, give yourself another chance. Because at the end of the day, the loudest war in your head can only be silenced by the quiet courage in your heart. So before I close today, I want you to hear this part clearly. Because we spend so much time hiding our inner battles, we forget something important. Everyone you meet is fighting a war you'll never see. The confident one, the quiet one, the loud one, the funny one, the strong one. All of them, they're fighting something, and that means something, that you're not alone. You are never alone. So let me leave you with this. Tonight, when the world slows down and the noise fades and you're left with just you and your thoughts, I want you to remember one thing. You are not the voice that attacks you. You are the one who hears it and makes you more powerful than you think. Every time your mind tells you you can't, I want you to answer with, watch me. Every time it says you're not enough, I want you to whisper back and say, I'm growing. Every time it tries to drag you back to the old you, I want you to stand tall and say, you're not my story anymore. Because here's the truth. The war in your head isn't just a sign that you're weak. It's a sign that once again, you're human. And as humans, we're built to overcome. Step by step, day by day, thought by thought. And if nobody has ever told you this today, let me be the one to say it. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve a mind that speaks to you when speaks to you with kindness. So as you walk into the rest of your week, hold your head high. Not because the war is over, but because you're learning how to fight differently, more patiently, more lovingly, more bravely. And maybe, once again, just maybe, that's how peace begins. Thank you for listening to the Sense of Self podcast. Thank you for choosing yourself today. Until we meet again, may your minds be gentle, may your heart beat steady, and may your inner battles make you stronger, not smaller. See you again in the next one. Peace.